afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to an exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda heroes like defender of the fatherland, off here to a 1v1 own Langraskaya in the north that is logged in, fighting for America, freedom, democracy, the 3rd Armored Division, here with heavy cavalry featuring rifle defensive structures, off-map smoke barrages, rangers, combined arms, and the M26 Pershing heavy tank. In the south, it is Spaget, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 2nd Panzerdivision with Spearhead, German Infantry and Mechanized Assault, a Grenadier MD42 start versus double rifle start. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my patron supporters. Without them and their wonderful support, the Propagandacast will not be able to keep going, so big thanks to all those. Also, a big thanks to Iron Fist for once more donating and supporting the Propagandacast with his hard-earned money, and as always, generous support, so big thanks to him. Other people can follow these people to regular example by pledging on Patreon. They can donate via PayPal. Links are in the description. And if you're in the market for pre-owning companies, you can do so by the link in the comments. Use the code STUK3G as it is written there, and I get a small part of the sale. Otherwise, comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button. So, Westward's their pioneers piece wiring off here, looking to fortify the area here, as it can be a crucial point of contact here. Interesting enough, that does mean here that Login is actually able to rush for the western fuel point, though typically don't see this hard of a rush here, but Login is going in here, aided by heavy cavalry, which allows his rifle to lay down sandbags and thus dig in. And the Wehrmacht can struggle attacking into like dug-in infantry like that in the early game. The 4-man Grenadiers, for example, don't quite open up for that. So we'll have to see what he does. I mean, he could try and switch eastwards instead here towards the eastern fuel point. I mean, he could also just try and overwhelm with larger numbers, but at that point, again, he's committing a larger force to a smaller force here behind sandbags. We'll have to see here what exactly Spagetman does, but so far, he's not exactly, of course, aware of this. Perhaps might notice it on minimap, but he's always not rushing in to figure out exactly what's going on. 3rd Rifle Squad there for login. Spagetman there with the 2nd Grenadier Squad. We'll have to see what follows up with the next here. Could be a 3rd Grenadier Squad. Could surprise us with Mechanized Assault and some Assault Grenadiers. Machine and Gewehr Puny in the west here. Rifle Squad, they're about to get spotted here and suppressed the Rifle Squad from the sandbags, but again, note the sort of shows a, whoops, vessel attacking my hand savagely there. Network there, sandbags trying to light, but there you go. Rifle Squad takes the chance here to flank up with the machine gun here. Will Spagetman, yeah, looks like he senses it. Perhaps he had an idea there. Either way, machine up to stop the Rifle Squad there. East side, we got the Grenadiers pushing back the east, so they're going straight for the fuel point there. 3rd Grenadier Squad there, and the machine gun is bypassed here, but ow, Bassel, you bastard. Puny versus Rifle Squad, then the Pioneers are actually able to beat the Rifle Squad up close here with MP40s. That is some pretty impressive light there for Spagetman's Pioneers. Ow. Yeah, I don't think that's going to last much longer for the Pioneers. They need to retreat now. We got the Grenadiers running, but the Pioneers to retreat here. Go seeing Loggins planning some lieutenant or captain on the east side. There we got Rifle Squad pushing the Grenadiers here, but still the fuel point has been hit. Of course, for Loggin, it doesn't hurt too much because it's got the other fuel points. I mean, it's Spagetman there who's definitely in the rifle spot here. We do get Loggin now for some tech here. It is the lieutenant. Standard choice here. Standard for a reason, of course. Tech for Spagetman. Gun is round the Rifle Squad here, going for the calf point there first, leaving another squad then grab the fuel point, and crucially by hitting the calf point, or the point connecting the fuel point first, he pretty much just goes off the fuel point that way, thus ensuring that even if it takes longer to get the fuel point, at least during that time, the lock-in doesn't get to benefit from the fuel point. So, thumbs up, this is Spagetman. Calf point, then a fuel point grab back to the east side here. Certainly a rough start here for the Germans, and about to get rougher there with the lieutenant being rushed out. Tech almost down there for Spagetman. Got the point here secured. Machine and Gewehr there on the eastern point. Looks like going to see more commitment to the side here. And Lock-in, though, meanwhile, wants that fuel like any true American. He goes for the oil. Meanwhile, their machine holding up here. We got the Rifle Squad poking their heads forwards here and towards the center. Some reactions poking in their heads, but there you go. Note the use of the training on the sides of the map to go for deeper flank. Thumbs up there to Login. Smart infantry play there. In this case in particular, can allow him to get to the sandbags boys to contest it without taking too much damage. The Rifle Squad pursuing the Grenadiers here, as of course, it's going to be a race here for Spagetman to deal with these Rifle Squad before the other one can assist here. And there good does look, it's going to work out here for Spagetman, particularly with the light machine gun. That could be a wiping lock-in, that'd be hugely beneficial here for Spagetman. Of course, there's still the other Rifle Squad he has to deal with. We also got early grenades here for Login. Thumbs up, and there you go. The Mark II grenade right in the Grenadiers, and oh, bit of damage there, but nothing too heavy. Rifle Squad's the Grenadiers here. East side there, we got the Grenadiers machine holding up here. Here's some on the east side. There you go, Rifleman routed. Fun fact, the German army did have something similar to the Pineapple Grenade, or the Mark II frag grenade. They actually had the Eierhandgranate, which was, you know, a little less fancy, but overall in terms of design, roughly the same as the, you know, Mark II frag grenade there. It just, you know, isn't quite as visually outstanding as the, you know, pineapple, or not pineapple, you know, potato mash, if you will, or the Stielhandgranate, which obviously has a bit more of an unique visual identity there going on there. But still, the other one did also see a fair amount of usage in the German army, and main fact, been roughly made in the same numbers, so there are fun fact there. Anyways, like to make a nice comment there for Spaget Man. Then here's the lieutenant here. 5th cal there for login. Got the 2-2 on the way there for Spaget Man, and no surprise, there's still no commander though. Keine Kommandant. Looking like Spearhead, though, could still beat German Infantry or Mechanized Assault, though looking less like Mechanized Assault than German Infantry. At this point, he's got most of his guns upgraded to like machine guns. Over there, you're kind of not going to get the veteran squad leaders. But we'll have to see, of course. It's still early into the game here, and Spaget Man has plenty of surprises for now. So, of course, there's Login. Ralph Squad routed here as they get the surprise of getting shot at. Against the west side being attacked by 2 Ralph Squads here, and of course we got the grenade in the early game, which of course opens up for like potential very disastrous developments for Spaget Man if Locking gets off a really great flank. Got the armored coming up here, Reason's going for the carve point. East side here, we got to push for the field point there. Riven falling back in the west here, so the 2-2 hit back. Machine guns in the center here for Spaget Man. 5th cal there, could get flanked here by the info 2, and there we go, suppressed. And we got a still light tank of login. No surprise. Very good addition to get out there to the Americans. Very good addition. Pack 40 there for Spaget Man. The Panzerabwehrkanone 40. Got the eastern field point. A lot of field fighting in between the two sides. And again, back on the western field there again, making use of the sandbags laid down previously. Pack almost done there for Spaget Man. And the 2nd Panzerdivision Lieutenant there with a bazooka. Yeah, all 3 grenade squads now equipped with the MD-42. So it's starting to look more and more like Spearhead here from Spaget Man. Or theoretically Mechanized Assault if he still wants to go for the Tiger Tank, but, you know, wants some other things than what Spearhead offers. Then here's just the 5th Cavalry. German Infantry at this point is looking like the least likely of the 3 picks he has there. Armor car pushing west respect up with the 2 grenade squads here. Going to try and push off the American to the field point. And, oh, wow! There you go. He did actually go for German infantry. Well, there's a surprise. Or, you know, infantry if you just remove the German part of it. Featuring the 250 and a half tank, veteran squad leaders, stormtroopers, assault and hold, and fragmentation bombs. Still, typically at this stage, most players would not be going for German infantry, so it is a surprise. If we do get the stormtroopers, though, thumbs up. And of course, with MP40s, they pack a hell of a punch against them infantry and support weapons. So they're riding the Pioneers here. Armor coming back to the center. Pack 40 being hold forward. And there you go. Immediately also them to hold fire. So it's obviously intended to set up whatever the ambushes. And that way, you know, bait them into the effective range of the MP40s and utterly murder his opponent's infantry. Particularly combined with the tactical advance, it can at times completely wipe an enemy infantry squad if the opponent is not paying attention. So this is like a very powerful ability in the right hands. Armor card, they're blasting with the Stuart light tank. It's getting fixed up here. Cat even drew blood. Naughty Basil. And it's going to arrive squad here by the western victory point. We got 476 for 448. Good hit from the pack 4 and the Stuart again. Ambulance there for login. 3rd Armoured Division. Got the Stormtroopers creeping up here. At least trying to creep up. The armoured car is not helping out the pathing there. Ambulance halfway done. Stood once more back for repairs as the Pack 40 continues to prove to be a rather fierce adversary. Pioneer there with a bunker up back at base as well there for Spaget Man. And he's been marking themselves at the front line. Got the Stormtroopers advance in the center, using the enemy cover there to hide Odin. Big flank here by, well, big flank, but a decent flank here by Login. Got these rifle opening up the grenades there, but we got Against the light machines, got the MG42 team and the armored car here, and that's going to put us pretty harsh stop here to lock in the eastern flank. So for that support, they're just going to get absolutely annihilated. In fact, they're probably going to get annihilated on retreat here. He could try and pop some smoke here, but something tells me he is not interested in that. And apparently in this case didn't need it, but talk about close. Pack 4 looking to wreck the sandbags laid down here by Login previously. Spaget man could consider taking up here soon. Stormtroopers inching forwards here. Jumping from cover to cover. Stealthily. There we go, catching the 5th kill here at the worst time in their fort. And there we go, advance. Or tactical advance there. Oh, yeah, you got to be careful about that, of course. But timing it up there again, wrong timers can cost the Stormtroopers. That's like, just say, the flip side of that, ability to occasionally get entire units wiped is you also put them in a position where they can get wiped. So if you mistime it, like, in front of you, they can just chuck a grenade at you. Obviously, you're going to get a wipe there. So that, of course, is unfortunate there, but a good lesson. Powerful ability, but, also powerful drawbacks. More to Mimo for login. I do think she should go for another Stormtrooper squad eventually. Even more, but probably won't. Unfortunately, we got the Super Russian gun, the 2-2. Almost got something inside the base here, but fell short once more here. Fairly lucky there for login. West side, we got Gunners the rifle squad here. Spaget man has yet to tag up.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Instead of replacing the Stormtroopers, he just goes for another Grenadier squad. Bit of a shame, but oh well. That works too. He does also take up though, so thumbs up to that at least. Western fuel pond watch points in the hands here of the Americans. No tech yet though for login. Bit more to go before he commits to that, I suppose. And of course, with the Pershing heavy tank, there's sort of a potential endgame. We'll hope he does try to go straight for the Pershing. He actually goes from the Shermans or Jacksons before that, or Scots. Mortifying way here does provide login with some additional artillery support here. Plus, of course, more sources of smoke should he need. Though, of course, Oriel Rieson's the lieutenant. He does have access to rifle smoke grenades. So far, login has not really shown himself to be a big user of smoke against his erstwhile opponent. Stood flanking the Grenadiers here. We've got the 4th squad ready here. Should always consider upgrading his Pioneers with the veteran squad leader ability. Univers Ralph squad, quickly burning through those Yankees. Tech done, and the 4th squad is also being equipped with MG42s, no veteran squad leaders with the Grenadiers at least, though again, could still do it with the Pioneers, and I will certainly recommend that. This is the 5th guy does assist with repair speeds, and so, that's always pretty handy. Ground Western Field Point. Sandbags destroyed. Machine gun to Lieutenant. We got gunners moving eastwards. And straight into a mine here. Well late mine there by login. Definitely a problem there for Spaget Man's 2-2. Gunners in the west of us, the third light tank there. Mortar blasting away there at suspected German positions, but instead finding nothing. Round score trying to the Grenadiers here into the MG42. The results are bloody and brutal here. Login, still no tech. He does have weapon racks unlocked though, at least for some BARs and probably some more bazookas. If he suddenly finds himself in need of, well, more bazookas. But though with just a 2-2 out, obviously there's not exactly a huge need for bazookas, though more bazookas will still be helpful as the armored car to maybe take it out here. Mortar versus the machine gun. The machine gun so far is getting off well here versus the mortar team, which is not faring too well. The Steward moving up here, 1 kill, close to 2. Machine gun is ultimately forced to retreat with the arrival of the Steward light chain. In the west side here, big push for Login, breaching through Spagetman and the 2nd Panzer Division's left flank here. Charging ahead here for freedom and democracy. BARs raking the Germans with lead. We got the Steward moving up as well. We got the Pack 40 at the ready here. Finding some tech up there for Login. Pack wiped. That set lock-in lacks the means to destroy it, I think, so... Unless it gets very lucky with the steward, I guess. Which isn't impossible. But the question is, will lock-in try and risk it? In this case, obviously not. They're just going to move in... No, they don't actually move to crew. But either way, though, he is not going to risk it. He backs off. Can't fault him for that. There you go. Tank command post up. So Pommelkorn going up there for Spaget Man can then go for the Panzer IV. Panzerkampfwagen 4. So we got a bit of Stormtroop action and not too much before we got them killed. We'll have to see what else uses the command because so far we're not seeing the veteran squad leaders, unfortunately. We're not seeing the 250-1 half track. Oh, there we go. At least for the pioneers, thumbs up. And certainly for the Wehrmacht, having a 5-man flamethrower team is, you know, pretty handy. Very handy indeed. There you go. Pioneer setting out there. Halfway to the east on those gentlemen. There's also, of course, the Sultan Hold and the fragmentation bomb. Ooh, mortar white and Spaget Man, rather than seizing the artillery piece for himself, just decides to destroy it. And not wishing to deal with that inferior American Scheiße. I can't believe so fighting this is crap. Got the western point there being dug in again here by Logan, fresh set of sandbags, and we got the Panther out here for Spaget Man and the German army. Deutschland adding the Pinamatic machine gewehr there. Seizing the eastern victory point and munitions point. Even the western one is falling here to the Americans. Logan could go for Sherman now, and probably will, I suppose, in response to the Panther 4. Was he just going to line bazookas in the steward here to stop it? Certainly also no Apostle is going to go for the Jackson Technostar instead. We will have to see, of course, how Logan responds to the rather of the Panther 4 here. We do get ranges, and that, of course, could be another hint. These guys are going to go for bazooka ranges because, well, they are quite good. And apparently in the meta game, it's starting to realize that, hang on, ranges with 3 bazookas are kind of nuts. Got Rascals going to use in the west. Go, 1 bazooka up though, lacking munitions for additional bazookas. It's going to cause need more munitions for more bazookas, so this ranger team then becomes much more effective. Fun fact about the range is actually based off the British commandos, who sort of meant to, like, you know, follow in the sort of, shall I say, their star, but in reality a lot of the time they just got used as elite infantry. And so just thrown into where the fighting was thickest a lot of the time. Fun fact! Damage in the Panther 4 here. He's ripping to the major there. He forces the 50 cal. Goes around the Rangers in the west. Still, Logan continues to exert heavy map control over. We'll say with the current sort of lead he's got, it is quite clear he's just going to go for the Pershing because he can actually get away with it. I will say it is kind of risky in the way he's doing it, even like bazooka ranges. It is kind of risky, but if he can sort of maintain the field control he currently has, he can absolutely make it work, but I certainly wouldn't recommend it in most situations like this otherwise. And still, honestly, the only thing we've got to unlock it, but I can certainly see it working. So, Gunners moving up here in the center there. We got Gunners with the Lieutenant, the reasons here. Quickly sent packing as well. Pack 40 Thomas done for Spaget Man. At this point, I imagine Spaget Man's sort of kind of gone, yeah, I'm probably going to the receiving end of a Pershing heavy tank soon, so he's always going to bring up more packs to sort of try and deal with that, because, well, 1 Panther for a pack is not going to cut it, that's for sure. Have the Rangers been equipped with an additional bazooka? Yes, they have. So there's still 1 bazooka that can get added, as Rangers can actually equip themselves with 3 weapons, compared to most infantry that can only equip themselves with 2. Fun fact, by the way. This is another reason why people like bazooka rangers. Not only do they get a bonus with the bazookas, but they can have 3 of them. So that gives them quite a bit of heft there versus German armor. Reinforcing healing, got the route squad Westwards there. Still going to need some repairs. But he's getting close to that Pershing. In fact, fuel-wise, he's pretty much almost there. It's actually right now the manpower that's a bit more the bottleneck here for Login. He is suffering some fairly intense bleeding here versus Spaget Man, which is making it difficult for Login to like actually maintain map control without you expending huge amounts of manpower. So he could sort of end up risking himself into like this kind of like negative feedback loop in trying to, you know, stall for the Pershing, which typically is one of the associated risks. By trying to just stall for a heavy tank without any armor to really hold up against the enemy, you really risk getting into these negative feedback loops, and particularly if your opponent just keeps piling on more medium armor, they can effectively avoid that. So Lieutenant about to get wiped out of the Panther Fort. Quickly forced retreat here. West side here, Rifle Squad's going to there you go. Wipes a bit of blow here to Spaget Man and the German army. And there you go, an enemy fortune on the Rifle Squad. Foraging on the enemy supplies. Right there for Login. Doesn't have to upgrade that rifle with as many weapons in the future. And of course, allow him to save more munitions for the third bazooka if he needs it. Probably, he obviously will need it. Yeah, he's almost there now. Roughly a minute here before calling in the Pershing with the... Assuming he does not reinforce any troops, and it does appear like he is not reinforcing here.
300 points remaining.
Because he's probably realizing, you know, he wants that Pershing out now rather than later. Oh, never mind. He'd actually begin reinforcing. So, at this point, again, we'd sort of see, you know, again, those signs of that negative feedback loop established when, again, you try and stall for the heavy tank, but again, you don't have any tanks with which to do so. Your infantry will pay a incredibly high price, in particular as an opponent with actual tanks, at which point, you know, you just keep bleeding out and bleeding out and bleeding out. And you can't easily fault the big tank. Meanwhile, your opponent who doesn't have to, like, you know, spend as much manpower set aside for the medium tanks can just, you know, just have the tank absorb the damage, meaning, again, the infantry suffers less, and then you can just keep piling on more tanks. So, Login there definitely, I think, needs to be much more mindful right now. Again, he just risks bleeding out and just never going for that Pershing. It's, again, why I typically suggest not going straight for the big tank, because there are some, against, I would say, a less considered costs in trying to go for a heavy tank like that when you only got infantry. Second, Panther 4, they're almost done. Tank traps, they're wrecked by the packs. So, again, back to roughly a minute here for Login. And the 3rd Armored Division resistance hold here by the MD-42. Sent packing. Got the Panther 4 on the west side here. Got the Bazooka Lieutenant moving up here. Misses the Panther 4. Now we got the second up, we got a fresh gun here squad for Spaget Man. Still no additional stormtroopers as a Panzer Grenadier. Pioneer there, 5-man going for the rifleman there. Not looking great on the west side here for Login. He's very close to that Pershing heavy tank here. Machine the help against the right Rangers in the east here. Still only 2 bazookas by all appearances. And lost a 50 cal. Looks like here Spaget Man is having none of that. He's indeed not. But apparently the gunner's not doing a great job of actually hitting it. Now they're all shooting at it. Goddamn Krauts. Trying to destroy our machine gun. Well, we'll destroy it faster. Sir? Shut up, Carl, and shoot. So there you go. M26 Pershing heavy tank finally out for Login. Will later be downgraded after the war to medium tank. East side we go, the gun is moving up here for Spaget Man. Pershing down the west side. Straight shot of the Pioneers, and then packing up Bazooka. Find the Panther out here with a lot of bazookas here from Login. The Rangers, the liaisons. Apparently he's only upgrading these guys, but still with 2. Is he perhaps not aware? Can actually upgrade the 3? I don't know. Perhaps doesn't care. Also not impossible. We got a smoke call in the machine gun. Very good. They've been able to getting mauled by the Panther 4. The Pershing, though, is not following up here pretty quickly there. This is great for Spaget Man. Gives us more time to bring his troops into safety and, you know, stuff. Plus, with the way he used to smoke on the machine guns, he can't actually, say, use it easily on the packs. So that could have caused a problem there for the Pershing. He's lost his machine gun and his mortars so far to Spaget Man. Retreating back here. Got the gun use with the steward here. 2 stars of veterancy, those 2 levels. Closing on the 3rd one though. Panther 4's unit repairs. Got the 5-man Pioneers repairing a bit faster there. Could still benefit from another Pioneer squad, though, truth be told, to assist the repairs. We got 271 with 267. Pretty close in terms of victory points between the two sides. Pretty close. We'll have to see what Logan fills up next. Perhaps a Sherman, perhaps Scots, perhaps Jacksons. They all have their merit. I would certainly wouldn't, you know, hold it against where to go for Scots. I would deal with the Pack 40s. Also deploy smoke. On the other hand, versus, you know, all the Panther 4s, the Jackson or Sherman could also be a good idea. We'll have to see what Larkin commits to here versus Spagetman as the Panther dives in here, going for the Stuart Light Tank. Do have some bazookas here nearby, but they are not going off here. Panther getting ready to 2 shots and added. Timing for the anti-tank rifle, everything's great here for Larkin if he does get it off. Doesn't. Great for Spagetman's Panther 4 here. Rifle squad range suppressed, and we get assault and hold. Thumbs up here. The Guns Light Machine 7 get some nice boosts with that. Allowing him to inflict heavy losses here on Larkin's infantry, and for some reason he actually keeps fighting here despite not just the MD-42, but again all these boosted infantry and the Panther 4s, and this does end up costing Larkin quite aggressively as an entire unit gets wiped out. There's in fact the lieutenant who dropped a bazooka on top of everything else. Pershing there not really supporting the engagement. Well, either. And another wipe on Larkin. That's a rifle squad that now bit the dust here. That was pretty brutal here for Larkin. That is 2 infantry squads just gone. In comparison, it didn't really land any wipes here on Spagetman. So it still has good map control, at least for now. This could become much tougher to maintain here against Spagetman. That was a really bad engagement there for Larkin. Bazooka team's bring up here again. No good shot from the Pershing. Looks like he used the H-Trap round there. Bazooka's being dropped here. Briessen's Rangers just being absolutely demolished by the Panther 4s out in the open air. Never mind, they're going to DC. Another painful engagement here for Larkin. Perhaps a slight tinge of desperation there is clouding his actions here, as he's committing to many more frontal assaults without any real cover here versus Spagetman, which is obviously benefiting the Germans significantly, as it just allows them a lot of, you know, free, clear shots at Americans running across open ground. Could like try to move around here, or again go for deeper flank for here, but instead just decide to go straight down the middle of the map, where again there is nowhere to hide for his infantry. We do get a Sherman there for Larkin. He definitely needs more armor here. Eventually some more infantry as well. We'll have to see what it actually does. Our way the Sherman is slowly arriving here. As for Spagetman, could see more Shermans, or Panther 4s, I mean, could see Stoogs. Or it could be he's going for tier 4. East side here, going setting a mine, almost getting wiped out. I mean, Larkin continues to maintain a strong fuel lead. It's just, with the way he's been bleeding manpower on increasingly, you know, tactically inadvisable attacks, I mean, Spagetman is able to, like, you know, do fairly well. Because even if he does have all the fuel, without the manpower, he can't really get the tanks. Sherman ready. Another tank ready for freedom and democracy. Here's the rifle squads here. Light machine guns and BARs. Pershing getting the Panther 4 here. Sherman joining as well there. Panther 4 blitzing out there. Got another assault and hold here. Thumbs up to Spagetman. Easily, I think, one of the reasons to pick German infantry besides veteran squad leaders. The stormtroopers and honestly missed. The assault and hold, there's a really good ability. It is one of those abilities that's really overlooked. If anything, it's more luck than combined arms, which is a really powerful ability, but is very overlooked by the average American player, unfortunately. Or fortunately, if you're the Germans, not getting exposed to its power. Panther 4, they're backing off here. The Pershing and the Sherman keeps moving up. People got against the flank instead with the assault and hold. The Rangers are definitely in a precarious position here. Veteran Panther 4 there, trying to provide some support. Double packs on the Pershing, punching some very large holes into it. North Italy is ripping through the retreating troops here. Rangers definitely in the danger zone. Almost getting wiped out here. In a torn machine gun fire. Panther 4 pursuing the Pershing, packed up by the packs. Spagetman needs to be careful, doesn't get a bit too overconfident here versus Larkin. One mistake, he could quickly cost him some armor. And of course, he needs to be careful around this anti-tank guns because Spagetman is being pretty aggressive with them. Forcing healing here, and again, series of another massive frontal engagement versus Spagetman, which ultimately again bleeds out Login, preventing him from really utilizing all of his fuel efficiently. Machining gewehr though mean to the Americans. 12 kills there, East level. Pershing receiving repairs here. Even popped up the Steward crew, I imagine, to assist with repairs here. 5 kills, half 8 of SC2 on the Pershing. No heavy Panzer Corps yet for Spagetman. Major move on the flank. Getting some good kills on the Grenadiers. Steward moving in, got the right flank here by the Rangers. Pershing Shadows one that's fixed up. Looks like Login is starting to smarten up just a wee bit here versus Spagetman. Catches him actually fairly unprepared. His packs got flanked by the infantry pretty aggressively, and that forced them back, allowing the armor now to push through here. Tactically, much smarter here, though, of course, at this point he suffers so much heavy losses. He can't quite exploit this as heavily as I would like to. Pershing moving in here, we got the Grenadiers moving up. He needs to retreat those Rangers now before they get turned into fine pulp here against the German Grenadiers. It just ends up risking repeating ends here, where the US Rangers actually suffer some pretty heavy losses against the Germans. Got the western point here. Sherman moving up back up the echelons here. Gonna be sitting out here for Spagetman. Heavy Panzer going up there for your Deutschland. Major there is about to get exterminated by the Germans. Executed, got the western field as well here. Panther forming up here, engaging the Sherman. Shots going through there. Pershing up again. Here, again Grenadiers. Oh, the Panther will actually appear.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Eastern field on the seas for the echelons. Packs of the move here. Jackson all the way there for Lock-in to help deal with the German armor. There's the Panther force with the armor there, but of course, probably also going to be helpful against whatever Spagetman's going to go here from the Heavy Panzer Corps, which could very well be a Panther. The Panzerkampfwagen 5, Ausführung A. We do in fact get a Panther here from around the eastern field plan with the echelons. Enforcing healing. 220 to 217, pretty close in terms of victory points still. Got the near East Panther 4 crew going for the eastern field point there, right into the bazookas. Limited damage onto the Panther 4 here. Panther is 1/3 of the way done, in fact almost halfway done here for Spagetman and the 2nd Panzer Division. But I think a combined arms push from the right angle here from Login could possibly like really do some heavy damage to Spagetman. The question is though, will he actually conduct such an assault here? Will he just, constantly just charge right ahead across open fields into the Panther 4s, the machine guns, and all the Grenadiers? Time and time again. And crucially note the way he's doing it, it's like, he's sending in infantry unsupported, or he's sending in tanks unsupported. Never quite, tanks and infantry together, whereas comparatively, Spagetman just generally keeps the infantry and the armor and the anti-tankers working together that way, getting the best, shall we say, structure there. Pershing there probing up here through the center. Got the Panther moving forwards here for Spagetman. Pershing falling back.
We're at 200 points.
Straight here for the Pershing. And we got another tactical advance and hold here from Spagetman. In this case, the Grenadiers aren't in as great position there. We got Panther being hammered here by all the bazookas here from the Rangers. We got 2 Rob squads at a bunch. We got the Panther with the Red Jackson on the flank here. Again, no combined ups, not much LC. There we go, packs flying as well. We got huge puffs of dirt that have been kicked up here. Pershing going for the Panther, almost got it. We got Pioneers picking up the part with the bazookas. Packs on around here with the Pershing. Panther diving out of here. The engage is just going rather awkwardly here for Login. Spagetman is setting the pace here. And he is absolutely just crashing Login with the pace here. So that was a pretty bad engagement here for Login. Spagetman did lose a Grenadier squad. But compared to losing a Sherman, that's not really like a big deal. And he never really lost any armor. In fact, it looks like Login lost even more troops than just 2 rifle squads and the Rangers, and then a mix of armor and a tank destroyer. Not a great look. Not a great look here for Login. This is starting to look like here very much a fight won by the Germans. More Pioneers ready, by the way. Also could benefit from upgrading those for veteran squad leaders, by the way. We got smoke fine being employed here by a Login. Could have done that much sooner. And of course, we'll use the Sherman's smoke ability to do that. There's a little smoke mortar there in the top of the turret. Of course, by now, that thing is just burning, burned out steel. So obviously, that's not going to be assisting the fight now, is it? Heading for the eastern fuel point there. We got Ralph Squad push Propagandacast MU-42. Panther being still fixed up here. Panthers were rather heavy on maintenance, and certainly even properly maintained, certainly had a lot of issues. Pershing still going to use in the west here. Got actually 2 10 kills. Not bad for the Pershing, though. Will it be enough for Login to like really turn this game around against Spaget? Also, by now, the victory point situation is also starting to turn much more aggressively against Login. Most of the match has been like pretty close between the two. By now, the situation is running out of Login's hands pretty rapidly. Eastern fuel points for the Rangers there, busy as they can be. Panther on the west side here. Close veterans who won. Good shot there from the Pershing. Pax landing up good hit here. Yeah, damage ending the Panther here from an anti-tank rifle grenade. Jackson sitting out. Finish the advancing Rangers. Shot fired there. Obliterates 2 guys. Grenade off. Pershing were about their halfway to its new fleet. Yeah, Login definitely is a bit aimless at the moment. Probably trying to figure out a way how to like actually deal with Spaget Man. Who's just like, you know, holding a good chunk of the map here at the moment. At this point, I think Login's best option is like to launch a deep flank either from the east side or the west side, and like trying to like, you know, drive a wedge into Spaget Man's forces and like get some kills in there before it can like easily bring it all to bear against one position. Particularly since right now he has kind of positioned his forces in a manner they kind of separate from each other. Like, you know, we got a bit here, the train here kind of blocks the country support here, and against when the guns are pointing a bit different directions. So a good flank assault here from Login, maybe boost up with something else, could perhaps inflict significant enough damage to Spaget Man to give Login some more room to recover this match in his favor, but it does require him to do so, I think, pretty smoothly and sharply. Cap not even Login. It feels a bit questionable though. Pershing then gaining the Panther 4 gain. Oh, that's actually the Jackson gaining message too. Pershing going up there, no. There we go. Panther 4 there. Half health. Panther moving towards the center here. Login there, again, as you might notice, isn't doing this particularly swiftly, so this gives Spaget Man then ample time to just bring his forces in to resist the assault. So at this point, like, you know, whatever chance I think Login might have had to, like, you know, turn this around, probably just got thrown straight out the window simply because, you know, he needed speed here. He needed to be fast about this, and he chose the exact opposite of speed. So at that point, Spaget Man could just easily bring up his forces and, you know, lock down any attempt here by Login. Now, we do get some smoke here, but I think there's a good chance it's not going to matter. We've got an anti-tank out here now as well. But he needs to hold that to the front line. That's going to take some time. It's not like, say, he could tow the gun. He can't do that in Companies 3, but this is Companies 2. Captain breaking through here. Taking heavy fire from the Panther 4s there, though. Both Factory 2 by now. One almost ace level here. Stuart getting knocked out there finally. Great kill here for Spaget Man. Another nail in Login's coffin. We've got Assault and Hold here just to make sure stuff dies. Panther moving 40 around to the Pershing and the anti-tank gun. Pershing there in a pretty bad state. There we go. Pop goes the weasel. And with that, I think it's safe to say here that Spaget Man has won the match. Login is a dead in the water here against the Germans. His forces are in disarray. And there you go. GG. Game over. A loss here for Login, a victory for Spaget Man, a fierce battle here with some nice use of Assault and Hold. Less nice use of stormtroopers, well, at least he tried, but also like to see some veteran squadrons in the Grenadiers, but oh well. Either way, though, I think we would highlight again the importance of, like, you know, if you're going to try and stall for something big, make sure you have something extra, like, you know, sure you don't bleed out hard on manpower, at least switch your tactics to something a bit more efficient, because Locke ended up just, you know, stalling out the Pershing too much because he just kept bleeding out and couldn't at the same time accept the loss of territory the other have to suffer. So that sort of kind of thing dented his plan, then otherwise I think ruined his otherwise great momentum, allowing Spaget to get back into the fight, at which point the entire thing kind of went pear-shaped here for Login, slowly but steady, particularly because he also just tactically just kept relying on the most manpower-intensive tactics, as if though like he had massive manpower reserves, which he didn't. So that was, I think, a distinct disconnect between the tactics and the strategy, and that, I think, you know, really also helps Spagetman here. So, hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell friends, tell family, but don't tell enemies. This is Imperial saying cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.